This is the Blue Hole in the Red Sea in the Sinai Peninsula of Egypt. It's one of many of these blue holes around the globe, but this one is considered to be by far the most dangerous. And as I'm sure you'll see, this is only highlighted by some of the horrifying incidents that have taken place here as always. Viewer discretion is advised. This is Tark Omar. Professionally, he is a technical diver and instructor. Unofficially, he is nicknamed the Bone Collector. He's also been called the Gravekeeper. And the grave or cemetery that he keeps is the Blue Hole in the Sinai Peninsula of Egypt. The Blue Hole is one of the most popular dive sites on Earth for both novice and expert divers. It's also thought to be the single deadliest dive site on the planet over the years. It's estimated that at least 130 people have lost their lives diving the hole. But some estimates put the figure at over 200 on top of that. Since no official records have been kept, no one is really sure exactly. It could be significantly higher still. Since the late 90s, Tark Omar has been involved in most of the body recoveries at the Blue Hole. After 2 decades, he's lost count. But he remembers the first 2 he ever recovered, Martin Gara and Connor Oregon. In 1997, the 2 Irish friends were working as dive instructors in Egypt. Both were experienced and meticulous divers. During a dive at the famous Blue Hole, they became separated from their group. They accidentally went too deep for their gas mixture, causing them to lose consciousness. By the time search divers found them, it was too late. Their story is like so many others from the Blue Hole. Careful, experienced divers go down, but don't return. Blue holes look serene. They aren't. A blue hole is a collapsed limestone cave, now flooded, almost perfectly vertical. During past ice ages, sea levels dropped. Rain carved caves in limestone. When seas rose again, salt water and time weakened the roofs, and they fell in. What remained is a hard outer rim around a vertical shaft where the interior rock dissolves more easily, and the depth plunges far beyond the nearby seafloor. Take the Great Blue Hole in Belize. A shallow rim, then a near-vertical drop, hundreds of feet in an instant. From above, color snaps from bright turquoise at the rim to a deep ocean blue at the center. Inside, circulation is poor, especially deep. Many bottoms are low in oxygen, quiet, barren, and strangely empty. They're easy to reach, sometimes just meters from shore, and often have little to no current. Beautiful, accessible, and deceptively deep. That's the paradox of blue holes. Inviting at the surface, unforgiving below. The Blue Hole's sinister reputation as a diver's cemetery doesn't discourage people. It's part of the attraction. On the shore, a memorial for divers who've lost their lives serves as a morbid reminder of the risks. A key danger is its unique shape. The walls narrow like a funnel as you descend. At 52 meters, a large arch opens into a tunnel that descends diagonally into the open ocean. For many, this arch is the goal. But at these depths, regular air becomes toxic. The rapid drop makes it easy for divers to descend too quickly, and before they know it, nitrogen narcosis becomes intoxicating, causing them to pass out. But it's not only divers on regular air who have died there. Obviously, like for example in 2011, a man named Igor planted to do a technical dive down to 150 m, roughly 50 meters above the hole's true depth. He was very experienced and had done exactly 400 dives when he entered the water at the Blue Hole that day. First he got T to the arch at 50 m, then at 90 m. He passed another man who recalled thinking that Igor looked shaky, but that he gave him the OK signal anyway. Then down to 120 m, then to 150 m. And Igor was at the deepest he'd ever been by far. After a hard landing on a ledge at 150 m, he began to ascend, but by then things were already beginning to go bad. At 130 m, Igor began to hyperventilate. This turned to complete panic, and then in an instant, Igor shot up to the surface without making any stops. This is a terrifying thing to do without making decompression. Stops for the depth that he dove. All of the dissolved gases in his blood due to the pressure at depth were now expanding rapidly as he ascended by the time he hit the surface. They would have been causing him an immense amount of pain, and would have been blocking the blood vessel all over his body as his head broke the water. He cried out in pain, and then a few minutes later he was dead. Igor would be one that Tark didn't need to recover. Maybe another reason that this hole is so dangerous is that although diving is sort of regulated in this area, money goes a long way. Most of the dive shops in the area are licensed, but some aren't. And then in addition to that, there's also lots of competition which drives down the price per dive. Because of this, some of the instructors and guides are willing to forego some of the rules and regulations in exchange for a little extra money. This can create some suboptimal conditions for inexperienced divers. However, at the very least, at least the people who pay for these services still go with someone who is trained and experienced. A far worse thing to do would be to simply go alone. Perhaps the most famous incident at the Blue Hole is that of Yuri, a diving instructor who arrived in Dahab in April of 2000. It had been his dream to dive the Blue Hole, and he brought a video camera to document his descent. The video begins near the surface with other divers, coral, and bright, clear water. Yuri makes some adjustments to his camera, then begins his descent. As he swims down along the inner wall of the hole, the water quickly grows darker. Yuri was diving on regular air, which becomes toxic at depth, causing severe nitrogen narcosis. His dive computer shows him reaching 81 meters, more than double the recommended maximum depth for recreational diving. Soon he can be seen struggling on a ledge. Disoriented, he tries to inflate his buoyancy control device, but he is too deep, and the equipment is too heavy. The camera cuts out as he fights to ascend. When Yuri didn't return, his parents were contacted. Tarek Omar volunteered to lead the recovery dive, the deepest of its kind at the time. He found Yuri at a depth of 91 meters with too much weight attached and a burst buoyancy device from his desperate attempt to add air. Tarek returned Yuri's belongings to his parents, including the camera, which had unexpectedly survived the pressure. Tragically, the footage of their son's final moments was played in front of them. Yuri's footage is now used as a stark warning about the dangers of diving beyond one's limits. It shows how quickly a beautiful dive can turn deadly, as the calm surface gives way to a pitch-black alien world where it's all too easy to become disoriented.